Hello, and thank you so much for joining me today. This is my vlog or TED Talk or presentation for this culminating task, Module 4 here, talking about my personal inquiry, which is how Indigenous perspectives are impacting and influencing place-based education. And if they're not, then why they should be impacting place-based education. I'll talk about more about that, but let's get started. And I don't want to stay in my living room this whole time, so let's go outside where we can talk in nature. I'm in nature now. Place-based learning. I was intrigued by this as an idea for my personal inquiry because I love getting kids outside the classroom. Anytime I can make it informal, or actually informal is not the right word, practical, help them just see a little more creatively, I guess, really what the teaching, instruction, the lesson can be. I want to take it. So getting kids on a field trip has always been just something fun for me. Place-based learning is an educational approach which uses a local environment as a starting point to enhance students' learning so they can make a connection to what's going on outside of the textbook in their classroom. Here's how teachers in a classroom teach. How to climb a tree. First, number 1, find a tree. Number 2, use your arms and legs to pull yourself up the tree. Number 3, be careful, do not fall. We don't have the proper permission form for that kind of activity, so no one's allowed to climb a tree when we get to the park. But if I was teaching place-based, this is how I would teach how to climb a tree. Well, this is how I would teach how to climb a tree. Here, look. So you want to find a tree that looks manageable to you. Not too big, not too small. I don't want to get hurt, so I'm going to pick this one. Give it some pulls. If you feel like it's going to crack, it might crack. Give it a test swing. And then avoid the daggers and climb the tree. Indigenous education has long been place-based, integrating the environment and community into the learning process. For Indigenous peoples, education is holistic. It's lifelong and it's deeply connected to the land and cultural practices where they live. Key elements of Indigenous education include learning from elders and community members, using stories and oral traditions that pass down their knowledge, engaging in practical and hands-on activities like hunting and fishing and gathering that get the family and community together, and of course understanding and respecting the natural world where they live. Indigenous living was fully inclusive, fully immersive in the learning experience. You learn by doing, you learn by hands-on, you learn in the environment. If you want to know about catching a fish, you learn while catching a fish down by the river. You don't learn about that when you're hiking up a mountain. When you're on a mountain, you learn about berries to collect and things to eat and what's medicine and not medicine, what's food, what's not food, right? This idea of getting kids out to experience everything is not a white idea. It's us realizing that maybe we made some mistakes by sterilizing the way we teach kids. Those are some big words, and a lot of it's opinion, I know, so take it with a grain of salt, please. And when you're I don't mean teaching outside all the time. You can't always be fishing or always be, chopping wood. Sometimes the classroom is important. Sometimes the classroom is better, because when you go outside, it gets really windy and it's hard to understand what you're trying to say in front of the students. There's also lots of distractions outside too. So finding a good balance of both will really enhance and help our education.